Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey. If anybody is new and joining me here for the first time, thank you so much. My slogan is Believable Brown Beauty, and yes, at times I do use makeup in slightly unconventional ways. I also do live get ready with me's on Instagram when they are being compliant on Sunday mornings at 9:30 GMT. I will put my Instagram handle for you here. Please come and hang out. It's my favorite thing to do. And yeah, let's get into this week's tutorial. Okay, so for this week's video, I have decided to, well actually, that's not specifically true. I put a poll out on my Instagram asking you guys which makeup you would like me to create for this week's tutorial, and the results are in, and to prove that I'm not lying, I'm going to show you. So let's just put the password in, go to the gram. Maybe I should have done this before, but there you can see. Is it in focus? Yeah, 69% of my audience asked for the Kim K makeup. So that's what I'm going, wait. That's what I'm going to do today. I am starting with my Cover FX G100 foundation. This is the Power Play, sorry, the colour is G100. I love this foundation. Also, I've got good news. So one of my followers, Leah, I think it was Leah, who sent me a message to say that Cover FX hasn't left the UK. It only left Harvey Nicks. And I'm kind of annoyed because I did message them so I could give you accurate information and they didn't reply. So she said she was in Space NK and she saw it in there and she asked them and they said no. So I think it just left Harvey Nicks, which is awesome. So now I can keep using it and not feeling so guilty because you can still pick it up in Space NK. And let me just look at the picture because I'm sure she wears foundation on her forehead as well. Oh yes, she does. So I am actually going to do something that I don't usually do. I'm going to put foundation on my forehead. I'm going to recreate this as much as possible. I will not be wearing lashes because we know that I don't do lashes. But I'm going to pop this G100 in the middle of my head here. And then I'm going to take my Chestnut number 9 foundation and just pop that a little bit around my mouth. I really only need it there, not the whole way along my jaw. Take the same brush and just buff that all in. Then I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to use considerably more concealer than I would ordinarily do because this is a Kim Kardashian makeup and I think she is one of the people that is responsible for people thinking they have to put their concealer on like this. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I am going to take it higher up on my nose because I know that she does that too, to kind of slim my nose. Even though I don't agree with nose slimming, but I'm only doing this to be as true to the makeup as possible. You'll never see me doing this in real life. I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush. This is a Real Techniques contour brush. I'm going to use that for my concealer. And I do like to pat when I want more coverage. So I'm just going to pat this underneath my eye. And up the side of my nose. Then I'm going to go back to my foundation brush and just stipple the edges and make sure that it's blended into the rest of my base. Then I'm taking another concealer. This is the Power Play from Cover FX again in the colour G Medium 2. Now it doesn't really matter that it's this colour. I just need something paler to use to kind of highlight my concealer even more than it already is. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of that. It does look quite golden, hence the G. So the G stands for golden in Cover FX, and I'm going to pop that here and here to brighten and lift a little bit more. Then I'm going to go back to the contour brush and just pat that in. And you'll see that that will lift these areas even more. then I'm going to go back and finish off my forehead because I got excited and I haven't actually finished my forehead. This is my Chestnut foundation again from Bobbi Brown. Back to my brush and buff that in. And then I am going to contour, because what is a Kim Kardashian makeup without contour? So I'll be using my espresso. Let me just check and make sure that everything is blended first before I do this. Yep. So, a little cheek contour. And I'm gonna do the jaw as well. Definitely forehead. She's very bronzed in her forehead. And I think that's it. I might do in here as well, but I'm going to wait until I put the concealer on my eyes, and maybe I need to zoom out a tiny bit out so you can see a bit more of my face. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so going back to, what brush was this? This is a buffing brush, and I'm literally going to blend this contour in. And then my forehead, 7 head, so much space. And I'm really having to work this product into my hairline, which I don't love because that's going to be a pain in the bum to take out. But if you're going to do this, you need to make sure that there's no gap of like your natural skin just behind the foundation, because it's always a dead giveaway that you've made yourself darker. So I like to make sure that everything is blended in to the hairline. Now here looks a little bit muddy, so I'm just going back to the brush that I blended my concealer with and just blending those edges away to keep it nice and clean. That's a whole lot of slap. I'm gonna balance the highlight underneath my eye by putting some on my chin. Also a step that I wouldn't ordinarily do, but I feel like when you just do this really intense highlighter underneath your eye and there's no other place in your face that has that, it looks really odd. So I'm going to use the same brush and just work it into my chin. And I don't do my forehead because my forehead is really good at finding its own light. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to take a smaller brush now. This is a 224 from MAC, and I'm going to get a smaller mirror so I can see a bit closer and just make sure that everything is blended, like all the edges of every colour are blended in. Oh, see, like I completely missed my jaw. I completely missed my jaw, so let's just blend my jawline in. That would be helpful. I think for Kim Kardashian's makeup, like skin is definitely her thing. I think Maria spends the most amount of time perfecting her base, because her makeup is actually quite simple. I know she had, her theme was to look really wet, so there won't be that much powder in this video today. So I'm just adding highlight here between these two contours to make them look even more pronounced. So I'm also going to put way more concealer around my eyes because she doesn't have any of her natural skin colour showing through at all. Like none of her natural skin, well maybe she doesn't have it, but I do have this coloration here where underneath my brows is much lighter, and sometimes when I blend shadows I can still see that pigmentation or demarcation coming through. So I'm going to spend way more time doing that today. I'm going back to my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm going to take, where's that brush? This is the one that I really like to use. This is a 214 from MAC. Looks like this. It's really good for carving out brows. So I'm going to do that today. If you find this difficult, you can always draw your brows in before you do this. But I think I said this before on my channel and I'll say it again. I really know how I draw my brows, so I can always put my highlight in first if I need to. And in this instance, I think it kind of works better for me because her brows are quite strong. Let me just go back. Sorry, I need to keep looking at the image. Her brows are quite strong, and I don't really like super strong brows. I feel like she can afford to. Her forehead is wider than mine. Her face shape is completely different, and her brows are like my brows kind of curve around the side of my head, where a lot of her brow is on the forward part of her face. This is getting very technical. The forward part of my face is only this wide. So for me, having really strong brows looks really odd from the side to have that really dark colour there. And my brows are much thicker as well. So her brows are thinner and more prominent on her face. So yeah, that's why I'm not going to be copying exactly the same brow style, because it will just look ridiculous on me. So going back to my NARS Radiant Creamy and just blending that down a bit more. And tapering off the edge as well. Oh, I can say this here too, because this is going up tomorrow. So the eye mats have offered my followers a discount code for the eye mats that are happening in London next weekend on the 18th and 19th. So if you use the discount code AceFaceBeauty, you get £20 off your ticket. I haven't been paid to say that, and even if I was, like, that's a good thing anyway if you want to go. They have just given me a free ticket to enter, which is really cool, because I need to buy a new makeup case. Like the one that I've had for years, and the handle is doing really silly things. Like it just doesn't come up when I need it to, and it's becoming really frustrating. So I think I'm going to go and buy a new case, and pray for me when I'm there, because I could end up with no money in my bank account and all my money in my bag as makeup products when I leave. And I'm bringing it down so that the gradient fades down into my eyelid. This is so much makeup for me. Oh jeez. I just don't have the energy to wear this type of makeup every time I do mine. Like, this is a lot of work. I guess it's the Met Gala and you kind of have to make that effort, but man. Actually, no you don't, because Alicia Keys was literally like in nothing. Barefaced almost. Really, really natural looking makeup. But what is Kim Kardashian without highlight and tons of foundation? I think the problem with this type of makeup is a lot of people that want to emulate it don't spend the time. Like, it's taken me about 20 minutes just to do my base, and people don't do that. They slap it on really quickly and then you can see all the demarcation lines and it just doesn't look as good. So if you're going to do it, like, do it by all means, but just take your time and make sure you really blend things in. I mean, you won't see it as 20 minutes in the actual finished video because no one will stay that long to watch it, but it's taken me 20 minutes to get to this stage, so don't rush the process. Next part is brows. I'm using my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 5 and brushing up Struggolina and my good eyebrow on this side. And let's just strategically fill in the places that had gaps. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's just check. Yeah, that looks good. Really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to add that kind of a little bit of shadow on the inner corner underneath my brow. So I'm going to go back to my Chestnut foundation in 10.25 Cool Espresso, and I'm taking that medium shadow brush that I just used to blend my concealer here, and I'm just going to gently pop this contour here and fade it up into the brow. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to go online and see if I can watch a video of Margot actually doing the makeup to see, because it's quite hard to tell from the pictures if the colour on the lid is shimmery with glitter in the middle or if he used a matte shadow. So I'm going to pause, check that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back and it looks like it's a matte eye. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of concealer. I like to use concealer as eyeshadow base as well. I feel like for me it works really well. If it doesn't work, totally missed the tube. If it doesn't work for you, use an eyeshadow primer, but I really like concealer as a shadow base, especially when I'm using matte shadow. So I'm gonna blend this here and then clean my brush, because what I don't want to do is make this darker corner too light with the concealer. Right, and do the other eye. Now we move on to shadow. I'm actually really looking forward to doing this makeup. So I'm going to take a 224 brush from MAC, and I'm actually using Raisin Blusher. I used to use this colour a lot for eyeshadow makeup, and I feel like it's a really good kind of transition colour for brown girls when you don't want to always use orange, because sometimes orange can just be a bit too intense. So I'm going to pop my crease in first and carry it all the way, because she had that colour all the way, or whatever colour she used, sorry, all the way in here, and just keep blending the edges. And then I'm going to take a 239 shadow brush from MAC, and I'm going to connect the Raisin shadow on top with the Raisin shadow underneath. Her makeup is always super smoky, and she does carry her blending down quite low underneath her eyes. I keep saying she like she does her makeup, like Mario does it. He carries her shadow really low underneath here. And now I'm back, sorry, in the 224 brush and just blending that out even more. So they are connected. And really wing it out, because she does favour a really feline shape to her makeup. It won't look exactly the same because she has much shorter eyelids than I do. I have a lot of eyelid space here, so that will definitely change the way the finished makeup will look, but we're following the guides as much as possible. Right, then I'm going to go back to my 239, back to Raisin, and I'm just going to start building the colour. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a gap in the middle, because shimmery eyeshadows don't sit so well over matte shadows, so there's no point making it the whole eyelid matte and then trying to force a shimmery colour in the middle. I'm just gonna leave a little gap where I'm gonna pop my shimmery colour, and I'm using my iris as the guide to where I'm leaving the gap. I'm going to take a 217 brush and literally just blend in the middle so that there's not a hard line on either side. Okay, so now I'm going to go, oh, I really love how this is coming along. I'm going to go into my NARS Skin Deep palette, and I'm going to take this colour up here. It looks really quite light in the palette, but it goes on pretty dark. So I'm going to start using that to build up depth in the corner. And then I'm just blending and winging the edge of that out. I bet this is the most recreated makeup from the Met Gala. It's nice to see a black girl though with a Kim K makeup. I don't know, I'm gonna have a look. I haven't really looked on YouTube to see like who has done what, but I know she's so popular, like everyone and their nan will have done this makeup. But I was like, oh, let's see what it looks like on me. Right, back to the 239, and then I'm going to go into this colour, which I describe as like a coffee colour. It's like a really cool brown. Taking a tiny bit. I'm popping that right at the root of my lash and really working it in. Back to my 217 and just blend that through a bit more. And then let's just look at the reference picture again and make sure that we're going in the right direction. It's so hard with her eye shape. I don't know, maybe she does have a little bit darker in here as well. Forgive me if she doesn't, but it's really difficult to see on her shape if she did this. But I think like you would if you're doing that shimmery colour in the middle, it's usually sandwiched between two darker colours. So let's just blend in here and hope for the best. Yeah, cool. Then I'm going to go underneath again. So basically everything I do on the top, I do on the underneath. I'm going to take that dark coffee brown colour again and really work that on my lash line on the bottom. Connect it to the work on the top. One thing I really love about this shadow, like this palette, is there's hardly any fallout, and considering I'm using such dark colors and I've got my base on already, like it's so impressive how everything stays where it is. I mean, I slept on the brand for ages because I worked for MAC for so long, and literally you were either in one camp or the other, so I never really like looked into NARS. But since I have left MAC and kind of just been more open to other brands of makeup, they are fast becoming a favourite of mine because everything is just done so well, like it's so excellent. Now for me, I don't know if this looks peachy enough, so this is a little tip or a trick that you can try as well. I'm just going to get some orange eyeshadow and kind of skim over the top of what I've done so that it's a bit more vibrant. And I think this colour, it literally is just called Orange from MAC. Right, so now let's do some finessing. I'm going to take some dark mineralized skin finish powder just to kind of skim over my brow highlight and make that blend into the shadows a bit more. Then I'm going to go to my NARS Skin Deep palette again, and I'm going to take this colour here, this copper colour. I'm going to go with a blending brush, and I'm just going to run that in the middle of my eye here. Now, Mario took that colour, like the shimmer colour, really high in the middle of her eye. I started with copper first because I don't always like just going in with the exact colour. Sometimes it can look a little bit stark. So I'm using this as kind of like a cushion to kind of carry the rest of the colour. I'm now going to go into this one. I like to go up in layers. So I'm going to go into this one now. Same brush and just layer that over the top. And also, like on Black Gold, you need to be a little bit more cautious, not incredibly, but sometimes these cooler colours can look a little bit like icy on our skin tone. So I like to cheat and blend sometimes something a bit warmer with it as well. And then I'm just carrying it up past my crease because that's what Mario did on Kim. So now I'm going to use a bit of a pigment. This is Platinum pigment from MAC. And I'm just going to use that to make the colour pop even more in the middle. So I'm taking a Louise Young brush. This is an LY14. It's a pointed pencil brush. I'm taking some of the pigment on my hand. And I'm really working it in. See? So I've got this little silver dot here. And then I'm going to use that to intensify this even more. With the pigment, you don't want to go straight from the lid or from the pot to your eye, like too much will come out. Spend the time, work it into your hand first, and then you can apply it to your eyelid in a much more controlled manner. Okay. I'm just going to use my finger to soften up here a little bit. Because my eyelids are so long, it looks a little bit too intense, but that is what he did. But if you imagine my eyelid was like this, that would look a little bit ill, but do you know what I mean? Like it would look more flattering if my eye was shorter, but it's not. I'm just going to work with what I have. Okay, so let me go back to the picture. I think she had liner on. She definitely had liner on the inside of her eye. So what do we see? There's definitely a liner on top. And is it black? It looks like it's a dark brown. So I'm going to do a dark brown. Or is it? Maybe I'll do both. I'm going to start with, where is it? Coffee. Let's see if that's dark enough. No, I know what I'm going to do. That's not my mirror. You see what I just did? That's my phone. I'm going to go and pick up my mirror. And I'm going to try it with coffee and see if that is strong enough. Kinda. But I've done it on one eye now, so I definitely have to do it on the other one. I might just go over it with a bit of black. Okay, let's go to a black kohl because I think it looks nicer with a black. So I'm going to take this inside my waterline and I'm taking it the whole way along. And then I'm going to use it on the top as well. And I'm working this really, really close to the roots of my lashes. It doesn't look like she has a really obvious liner on, but you know, with lashes like that, she definitely have some kind of black or dark brown here to conceal the band. It's not getting all the way to my roots, so I might have to go over this with a liquid liner as well. I can still see skin. That's going to irritate me. I think I have my Fenty one here. Let's have a look in my drawer. So I'm taking my fly liner in Kazan Black and I'm going to try and get really close. Yeah, that's way better. And I'm thinking, does it need a bit more? I think it needs a little bit more darkness in the corner. So I'm taking that little pencil brush from Louise Young. This is an LY13. And I'm just making it a bit darker here. When you have a shorter eyelid, it's so easy to make makeup look really sultry, but with my eye shape, because this part is so high, it all kind of just looks, comme ci, comme ça. Go back to a 217 and just blend a bit more here. And it's so funny because people with short eyelids always complain and they're like, I wish I had more space to put colour on. And I'm like, I wish my eyelids were shorter so it looked more sultry. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I could do that forever and a day. I'm going to close this pigment. Don't ever leave pigments open, okay? That's not a wise thing to do. I have done that before and paid the price and they are a pain in the ass to try and clean, so don't do that. Now I'm going to move on to mascara. And seeing as I'm not wearing lashes, I am going to use two volumizing mascaras to make them as, oh wait, there's no glitter. I knew there was something that was missing. Okay, so I'm taking Reflex Gold because I couldn't find my pearl. So let's just pretend that this is silver. You can't really see that it's gold anyway, especially because I've got that silver underneath it. It looks like how it's supposed to. Okay, now I can go to mascara. Also close the glitter. Don't leave those open. I've done that too. I've paid the price. So I'm going to be using my NARS Climax mascara. Then I'm going to go over that with my In Extreme Dimension 3D Black Lash Mascara. I like it. I really like how this is turning out. Okay. So now that we've got mascara on, let's move on to some skin. Let me just double check the picture because I'm not sure how much blush, if she was wearing any blush. I know her skin was really, really dewy, so there'll be lots of highlight on. Oh yeah, she's got blush too. Right, so I'm going to start with my highlight first. I am using my Tom Ford, sorry, but it's Met Gala makeup. It wasn't going to be like from the drugstore. Tom Ford highlighter in Intensity 2. And I'm just going to tap that here and here. Yeah, look at that. It looks gorgeous. Really nice. And then for blush, I am taking Torrid from NARS liquid blusher. It's a really beautiful peachy colour. I'm going to use my foundation brush still and just work that into the bristles first. Not yet. You want to open it? I'll be done in like 10 minutes.
Let's have juice. Have juice?
No, I want to open that.
Okay.
You know it's still recording, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's okay.
It's off.
Come on, Amanda.
Just did it.
You just did it? Good job.
Sorry.
It's okay, babe.
Come on.
It's real life. It's fine.
Let's go in the room. So let's go in the room. Come on. Come on.
So that's the blush on. And then for lips, so I went to a NARS event on Thursday, I think it was. Thursday. And this is one of the products that was in my goodie bag. I still need to do that for my Instagram and show people what we were given. But I thought the colours would be perfect for this. So Kim had a really nude lip, like always, in her Met Gala makeup. And that's what I'm going to do too. Now, the colour is called Intriguing, and it is a matte velvet lip pencil. So I'm going to do my lip liner first. I'm using NARS Spunk lip pencil. Now Kim overdraws her lips. I don't need to do that, so I'm just going to keep within my natural lip line. Okay. Then I'm going to take a tiny bit of Costa Riche eye kohl. So eye kohl, but I really love it for lips. And just kind of blend over that. So Spunk on the outside, Costa Riche in the middle, and then I'm going to go in with this colour Intriguing. Oh, it's a really lovely. Yeah, that's good. Press and roll. I haven't said that for a while. Press and roll. So now I'm going to do a tiny bit of gloss too. I'm going to mix actually Intriguing, which is a really beautiful nude gloss, and I'm going to mix it with a tiny bit of Orgasm, a teeny tiny bit, and pop that on and see what that looks like as well. I think they're going to work really nice together for this lip. Is this a 196? I can't even remember what this brush is called. A 184 or 194 from MAC concealer brush. I don't know if they make this anymore, but I'm going to pop this gloss over the top of the lipstick. Yeah. So I'm just going to go back in with a little brush and make sure that we're all blended. Oh, I really love this makeup. Ooh. Okay, so now the final step is just to set. Now, because I know there's a lot of sheen in this makeup, I'm going to use a really small brush and just pick out the places that need powder. So I'm taking my dark mineralized skin finish and I'm going to use that just in here. Even though it's a powder, it's got quite a satin finish to it, so it's not going to make my skin look dead. Not dead, flat. Dead's a bit extreme. And pop that in here as well. On my forehead, just in the center. And on my chin. And then I am going to go to my Cover FX Deep Translucent Powder. Or is this the matte? No, it's the matte setting powder. And I'm going to just press over here a little bit. And a little bit on the end of my nose. And on the center of my chin. Now, the last thing I need to see is if she has gloss on her eyelids. No, I think it's just glitter. But it looks like it's a little bit more in this part of the eye as well. Yeah, I think it's most intense in the middle of her eye, but she does have some glitter on the inside corner as well. So guys, there you have it. This is the final makeup look for today. It's so nice to see this makeup, this Met Gala makeup recreated on much darker skin. Obviously, I've had to tweak some of the colours a little bit to make them applicable to a brown girl, but Mario, I think, is an amazing makeup artist. I would not wear this much makeup, but he does this style of makeup really, really well. And I think that's the thing, like if you're going to do that Kim K kind of makeup, you need the skill set and you need the patience behind it to pull it off, because it does look really beautiful if you do it really well. If you're being a bit slapdash with your contour and your highlight and your foundation is a bit patchy, it just makes it, don't drag me, but it makes the makeup look really cheap. But I don't think Kim ever looks really cheap. Like, she looks like her makeup is expensive. It's not my style and it's much more coverage, but it's really, really well done. So yeah, I heard this on somebody else's video. It's like a tech video that I was watching, and the guy said, if you liked it, thumbs up. If you love it, subscribe. I'm gonna start saying that in my video because I really liked it. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.